What's going on, everybody? Spring has sprung in Ohio, and I'm finally able to get outside and forage for some greens again. It's been a long winter, and I am very excited to get out and look for some food. So today I'm thinking about getting some kind of salad put together just for a simple lunch, and maybe gather some extras for a side for dinner as well. So come with me, let's see what spring has provided us. All right off the rip, we found some garlic mustard. As the name implies, it's a member of the mustard family. That's going to include things like broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. And so it's going to have a lot of those characteristics. As it gets older, it gets more bitter in flavor, but it's also very nutritious as a result of that bitterness. So when they're young, they're a lot better to eat. This plant is invasive, and so best practice is to uproot this entire thing so that it can't reproduce. However, I like the leaves. They're good in salads. They are not the best part of this plant, in my opinion. The best part of this plant is the flower stalk right before the flowers open. It's like a garlicky, broccoli, asparagus kind of thing. I really like those. So what I do is I harvest the leaves for salads and stuff like that to slow the plant down so everything else around it can keep growing. And then when the flower stalks come, I harvest those and then I uproot the plant. So today I'm just going to be taking some leaves. Don't attack me in the comments for not uprooting this invasive plant. All right, continuing our tour of bitter plants, here is trout lily. Flowers look like this. There's another variation where the leaves are much whiter and the flowers are bright yellow. Both are edible, both are pretty good at the right age. When they start to flower and get a little bit older like this one here, the leaves become pretty bitter, especially in the aftertaste. But some of these younger leaves, let's see if I can find one on camera. Some of these younger leaves here are still young enough that they are sweet and not very bitter. They will help balance out the flavor of the garlic mustard. When we harvest these, we got to be mindful not to take too much from any one area. These plants are relatively delicate, and we do not want to destroy any populations of these native plants. I guess I should mention that they are called trout lily because the flowers, lily-like, but also the leaves kind of look like the skin of certain trout. I think brook trout, maybe. Somebody let me know. These little white flowers are called spring beauty. I've seen them in more of like a fuchsia or pink or something like that, where the flower's that color. I assume it has something to do with either natural variants in genetics or perhaps the acidity or alkalinity of the soil. I don't know, but either way, pretty identifiable flowers. They're spring ephemerals, so they're only around for a little bit. Flowers have 5 petals, and the leaves are small, very grass-like leaves. The flavor of this plant is, it tastes more like spinach than spinach does. Very tasty plant. So we'll harvest some of the leaves and even flowers. All right, as you can see here, we've got a whole carpet of dandelion and dead nettle, purple dead nettle. We are not going to eat any of the dead nettle. Not really my favorite vegetable or green to consume, though it is edible. I find the dandelions during the right time of the year, and if prepared correctly, can be pretty tasty. As a cooked green, highly recommend with a little bit of bacon grease, maybe even some pieces of bacon. But in a salad, it can be bitter, especially later in the year. However, you can overcome a lot of the bitterness if you just use a sweet salad dressing. So if you're somebody who really doesn't like bitter greens, I would recommend trying them with some type of sweet sauce, salad dressing, or whatever.